Welcome back, everyone, to another remarkable journey into the hidden world of gemstones, where history, medicine, and magic overlap in ways that even science is still trying to understand. This is not the kind of story you'll find in jewelry catalogs or quick online guides. Today, we explore the top 10 ancient stones once used as medicine and magic. Across civilizations, from Mesopotamia to Rome, from ancient China to medieval Europe, stones were not simply ornaments. They were crushed into powders, carried as charms, and used in rituals meant to heal the body and protect the soul. Some were believed to stop bleeding, others to cure poison, and still others to open visions of the future. And here's where it gets truly fascinating. The stone ranked at number one on our list, Beryl, once called the Vision Stone, is no longer seen only as a relic of superstition. Today, flawless specimens large enough for crystal lenses can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors call them museum-caliber gems. Healers still swear by their power. This means that if you've ever considered gemstones as either wellness tools or long-term investments, skipping this video could mean overlooking truths that history has guarded for centuries. So stay with us, because behind each of these 10 stones lies a story of survival, belief, and mystery, echoes of a world where medicine and magic were inseparable. And before we begin, if this is your first time joining us here at Gemstone Kingdom, we'd be grateful if you could like this video and subscribe. For us, that's more than a click. It's the motivation that drives us to research, document, and uncover the untold stories of the gemstone world. Now let's begin our journey into the stones that once healed, protected, and enchanted civilizations, and discover why their legacies still matter today. Rank 10. Chrysoprase, the Stone of Joy. What if the glow of an apple-green stone was once believed to cure poison, restore youth, and protect the traveler at night? Would you dismiss it as myth, or ask why entire civilizations kept it close for centuries? That stone is chrysoprase, ranked number 10 on our list of ancient stones once used for medicinal and magical purposes. Geologically, chrysoprase is a variety of chalcedony, a cryptocrystalline form of quartz, which is colored green by trace amounts of nickel. Unlike emerald or jade, it is opaque to translucent, glowing softly rather than sparkling. Primary sources in antiquity included Thrace, Poland, and later Silesia in Central Europe. In modern times, fine specimens come from Australia and Tanzania, but long before global trade, this stone circulated through Greek and Roman markets as a semi-precious material and talisman. Visually, chrysoprase exhibits a distinctive apple-green hue, sometimes fading to a yellow-green tone. When polished into beads or cabochons, it has a waxy luster that seems to radiate warmth. Ancient artisans carved it into signet rings, seals, and amulets, objects not only for adornment, but for daily ritual use. As medicine, chrysoprase was credited with surprising powers. Pliny the Elder, the Roman naturalist, wrote that chrysoprase could help alleviate stomach problems, calm the nerves, and even sharpen eyesight. It was ground into powders and applied as poultices. Folklore also described chrysoprase as an antidote to poison, particularly snake venom, a claim repeated across Europe well into the Middle Ages. Its role in magic was equally compelling. Among the Greeks, Chrysoprase was associated with Aphrodite, the goddess of love and renewal, who was believed to restore joy to the brokenhearted. In medieval Europe, it was carried as a talisman against thieves, said to lose its color if its owner was unfaithful. Knights reportedly sewed chrysoprase into their armor for courage and protection in battle. In Slavic folklore, chrysoprase was placed by windows and doorways to ward off evil spirits during the night. Archaeology confirms its value. Chrysoprase beads and seals have been found in Roman sites, showing both trade and symbolic use. In Byzantine medicine, it was still listed in lapidaries, stone manuals, described as a gem of healing joy. In modern metaphysical circles, chrysoprase is still referred to as the Stone of Joy. It is associated with the heart chakra, said to bring hope, forgiveness, and inner peace. While science finds no evidence for its medicinal effects, its enduring reputation reflects humanity's universal need to find comfort in tangible objects. So here's a question for you. If people across thousands of years trusted a simple green stone to heal body and spirit, can we ignore their voices, Or should we listen more carefully to the echoes of their belief? Rank number 10, Chrysoprase is more than Chalcedony. It is an ancient reminder that joy, protection, and healing were often sought not in temples of medicine, but in the quiet glow of a stone carried in the palm of one's hand. Rank 9, Bloodstone, the warrior's stone. Imagine a dark green stone, flecked with red drops that look like frozen blood. In the ancient world, it was not just admired for its beauty. It was swallowed, worn, and carved into amulets because people believed it could stop bleeding, protect soldiers in battle, and even control the weather. This is the story of Bloodstone, ranked number 9 on our list of ancient stones once used for medicinal and magical purposes. Bloodstone, or heliotrope, is a variety of chalcedony-colored deep green by iron-rich inclusions with distinctive red specks of hematite. Its principal sources in antiquity were India, Armenia, and Cyprus, later spreading into Europe through trade routes. Roman writers referred to it as a sunstone, not because of its color, but because of its supposed ability to interact with the heavens. Its visual power is undeniable. Smooth and polished, the contrast between green body and red spots made it resemble life itself, vital blood against the earth. For this reason, ancient lapidaries classified it not only as a jewel, but as a stone of sacrifice. As medicine, Bloodstone's reputation was legendary. Pliny the Elder wrote that it could stop hemorrhages when worn or ground into powder. In medieval Europe, physicians prescribed powdered bloodstone mixed into tonics to treat nosebleeds, menstrual disorders, and blood poisoning. Some texts recommended placing the stone directly on wounds to accelerate healing. Although we know today that this was symbolic rather than scientific, the persistence of such remedies shows how closely color was linked to healing beliefs. In magic, bloodstone became a warrior's companion. Roman soldiers carried it into battle, convinced it would grant invisibility against enemies, or at least provide divine protection. In Christian tradition, the red flecks were said to be the blood of Christ, sanctifying the stone and making it a relic of faith. In the Middle Ages, bloodstone amulets were inscribed with prayers and worn around the neck as charms against plague and poisoning. Some even believed bloodstone could control the weather, summoning rain or storms in agricultural rituals. Archaeological finds confirm its widespread role. Engraved bloodstone seals from Mesopotamia, carved intaglios from Roman sites, and crosses inlaid with bloodstone from medieval churches all attest to its enduring spiritual and medicinal significance. Today, bloodstone remains a symbol in crystal healing circles, associated with vitality, courage, and purification of the blood. While science has no evidence to support such effects, its enduring presence in healing traditions highlights the human desire to see meaning reflected in natural patterns. So let me pose a question. If you held a stone that looks as if life itself is suspended inside it, would you see only a mineral or a healer that has carried the hopes of warriors, priests, and physicians for over 2,000 years? Rank number 9, Bloodstone is more than chalcedony with red flecks. It is the warrior's stone, a gem of medicine, magic, and myth, where the belief in blood met the power of earth. Rank 8, Serpentine, the snake stone. What if a stone patterned like the scales of a serpent was once believed to neutralize venom, protect travelers from curses, and connect shamans to the underworld? Would you wear it as jewelry or keep it as a weapon against unseen threats? That is the tale of Serpentine, ranked number 8 on our list of ancient stones once used as medicine and magic. Geologically, serpentine refers to a group of magnesium silicate minerals, usually green, yellowish, or brown, often streaked with dark veins that resemble snakeskin. Primary ancient sources included China, Greece, and Italy, with other deposits in India and Central America. Its smooth texture and relative softness made it ideal for carving, and artisans shaped it into amulets, seals, and ritual vessels. Visually, serpentine evokes the reptile it is named for. Its mottled greens and flowing lines give it an organic, almost living quality. In polished form, it was carried in pockets or worn as beads. To ancient eyes, these snake-like patterns were not random. They were signs that the stone carried power over venom and dark forces. As medicine, serpentine had a reputation for curing snake bite and poisoning. In Greco-Roman texts, healers recommended placing serpentine on wounds or grinding it into powders mixed with wine. In China, serpentine vessels were used to store liquids, as it was believed the stone could neutralize toxins. Folklore across Asia and Europe held that water left overnight in a serpentine bowl became an antidote against venom. Its role in magic was equally striking. Shamans in Mesoamerica used serpentine for ritual masks and figurines, associating it with transformation and contact with the spirit world. In Europe, serpentine amulets were worn to protect against sorcery and curses, particularly those involving snakes and reptiles. Farmers placed serpentine stones near fields to drive away pests, seeing in its snake-like markings the power to command nature itself. Archaeological finds reinforce these beliefs. In China's Liangzhu culture, serpentine designs were carved into ritual discs known as bai, which were buried with the dead as offerings to the heavens. In Greece, serpentinite amulets have been uncovered in graves, suggesting their role as protective talismans for the afterlife. The widespread appearance of serpentine motifs across cultures reveals a shared human instinct to gaze at its patterns and perceive protection against the most feared danger of the ancient world: venom. In modern crystal healing, serpentine is associated with Kundalini energy in yoga traditions, said to awaken transformation and healing. It is still used as a talisman for detoxification and protection, echoing beliefs that have been held for thousands of years. So let me ask you, if you lived in an age when one snake bite could end a life, would you trust a stone marked with serpent scales as your shield? Rank number 8, serpentine is more than a mineral. It is the snake stone, a gem of medicine and magic, woven into humanity's struggle to master poison, fear, and the mysteries of the natural world. Rank 7, Galena, the shaman's stone. What if the same mineral that gave ancient healers their remedies also slowly poisoned them? Would you call it medicine, magic, or a dangerous bargain with the earth itself? That is the paradox of Galena, ranked number 7 on our list of ancient stones, which were once used for both medicinal and magical purposes. Geologically, Galena is a lead sulfide mineral, one of the primary ores of lead. Its cubic crystals, metallic luster, and heavy weight made it both attractive and practical. Primary ancient sources included Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Balkans, where Galena was mined not only for metallurgy, but also for ritual and medicinal use. Visually, Galena is striking. Its crystals are often shiny gray, almost silver-like, reflecting light with an otherworldly brilliance. Broken surfaces reveal a mirror-like sheen. Small fragments were easily crushed into powder, which explains why ancient peoples adopted it so readily, although they could not have known its toxicity at the time. In medicine, Galena found a prominent place. In ancient Egypt, powdered Galena was a key ingredient in kohl, the black cosmetic applied around the eyes. Archaeological studies indicate that this was not merely decorative. The lead salt stimulated the immune response, thereby helping to protect against eye infections in the Nile's harsh climate. In Mesopotamia, healers would mix Galena into ointments to treat skin diseases and illnesses. In Greece and Rome, Galena, a mineral, was mentioned in medicinal texts as a remedy for ulcers and abscesses. But Galena's role extended beyond medicine into magic. Shamans and priests treated it as a stone of visions and protection. In the Near East, Galena amulets were worn to guard against evil spirits. Native American tribes later discovered Galena in North America, using polished pieces as mirrors in divination rituals, gazing into their metallic surfaces to seek guidance from the spirit world. In some cultures, Galena dust was sprinkled in ceremonial fires, believed to summon ancestral powers. The irony is stark. What was seen as a healer and spiritual tool was, in fact, laced with danger. Chronic exposure to lead from Galena could cause illness, neurological damage, and even death. Yet because its short-term effects often seem beneficial, such as eye protection, wound drying, and ritual potency, it remained in use for millennia. Archaeology has revealed Galena in burials across Egypt, Greece, and the Levant, confirming its role as both a medicinal and magical substance. Vials of Galena powder, applicators, and mirrors accompany the dead, showing that its power was thought necessary not only in life, but also in the afterlife. In modern metaphysical practice, Galena is sometimes described as a grounding stone associated with transformation and shamanic journeys. However, unlike other crystals, its toxicity makes it a symbol of caution, a reminder that ancient medicine often blurred the line between healing and harm. So here's the question for you. Would you risk holding a stone that could both protect your spirit and poison your body? Ranked number 7, Galena is more than just a lead ore. It is the shaman's stone, bright, reflective, mysterious, and deadly, a testament to humanity's willingness to gamble with nature in pursuit of healing and power. Rank 6, Selenite, the moonstone of healing. What if a crystal so soft it could be scratched with a fingernail was once revered as solid moonlight, capable of calming the mind, easing disease, and carrying the protection of the gods? Would you see fragility or power? That is the story of selenite, ranked number 6 on our list of ancient stones once used for medicinal and magical purposes. Geologically, selenite is a crystalline form of gypsum composed of calcium sulfate dihydrate. It forms in sedimentary basins where water slowly evaporates, leaving behind layers of delicate, transparent crystals. Deposits are found in Greece, Mesopotamia, and later across Europe and the Middle East. Some of the largest crystals of selenite in the world, reaching several meters in length, were discovered in the caves of Naka, Mexico. But long before those, ancient peoples had already attributed a sacred identity to the mineral. Visually, selenite lives up to its name. Derived from selene, the Greek word for moon, it glows with a pearly white sheen, often translucent, catching light in a way that recalls shifting lunar beams. Polished into wands or carved into vessels, selenite radiated a gentle brilliance that made it a natural candidate for rituals tied to the heavens. In medicine, selenite was believed to soothe nerves, calm seizures, and reduce inflammation and swelling. Babylonian texts mention its use in poultices placed on the body to draw out illness. In ancient Greece, healers linked it with sleep and emotional tranquility, prescribing it for those plagued by nightmares. Its association with the moon suggested it governed cycles, both celestial and bodily, leading to beliefs that selenite could regulate women's health and fertility. In magic, selenite's reputation grew even stronger. The Greeks dedicated it to Selene, the moon goddess, believing it carried her light. Amulets of selenite were worn for protection during nighttime travel, shielding the bearer from the spirits of the dark. In Mesopotamia, polished selenite slabs were set into temple walls to ward off demons and ensure divine favor. Later in medieval Europe, mystics used selenite spheres in meditation, treating them as tools to open visions and channel angelic guidance. Archaeology confirms its symbolic power. Excavations in Mesopotamia have uncovered selenite figurines buried beneath foundations, offerings intended to bless the structures with health and protection. In Greece, vessels carved from selenite have been discovered in sanctuaries, reinforcing their connection to ritual purification. Today, in metaphysical practice, selenite is still referred to as the stone of healing and clarity. Practitioners use it to cleanse energy, promote peace, and connect with higher consciousness. Unlike many stones, selenite is said not to absorb negativity, but to dissolve it, echoing ancient beliefs in its purifying role. So let me ask you, if you were handed a fragment of moonlight made solid, would you keep it by your bed to calm your mind, or place it in a temple to protect your spirit? Ranked number 6, selenite is not just a gypsum crystal. It is the moonstone of healing, a reminder that fragility can carry its own strength, and that for thousands of years people saw in its glow the reflection of peace. Rank 5, Magnetite, the lodestone of power. What if a simple black stone could move iron by invisible force, an effect so mysterious that ancient physicians and magicians both declared it proof of hidden powers? Would you see it as the birth of science or as evidence of magic? That is the story of magnetite, known to antiquity as the lodestone, which ranks number 5 on our list of ancient stones once used for medicine and magic. Geologically, magnetite is an iron oxide mineral, iron 3 oxygen 4, one of the most magnetic natural substances on Earth. Found in igneous and metamorphic rocks, it occurs in deposits from Greece and Turkey to India and China. Its unique ability to attract iron filings and small pieces of metal gave rise to legends across continents, long before the physics of magnetism was understood. Visually, magnetite is unassuming. It is black to dark gray, opaque, and has a metallic sheen. Yet when it pulled nails, pins, or even small iron fragments toward itself, ancient observers believed it contained life, spirit, or divine force. Carved into amulets or left as natural nodules, lodestone was treated as a bridge between the material and unseen worlds. In medicine, magnetite was used in both practical and symbolic ways. In ancient Greece, physicians applied lodestone directly to aching joints, believing its invisible force could draw out pain or inflammation. In India, Ayurvedic texts describe powdered magnetite, known as Kanta Lohabhasma, as a treatment for arthritis and digestive disorders. Some Roman accounts mention the use of a lodestone worn over the chest to strengthen the heart and improve blood circulation. While none of these cures were scientifically effective, they reflect humanity's instinct to connect unseen natural forces with healing. In magic, the lodestone's reputation was even greater. Pliny the Elder wrote that it could draw love as it draws iron, a belief that spread into medieval Europe, where lodestone amulets were used as charms to attract love. In China, lodestone was used in the earliest compasses, as well as in feng shui practices, believed to realign the body's qi, or energy. In Islamic traditions, a lodestone was sometimes inscribed with prayers and carried for protection and success. Archaeology confirms its dual role. Lodestones have been unearthed from Greek and Roman sites, often drilled and strung as pendants. In China's Han Dynasty, records describe lodestone spoons used in divination rituals, objects that not only pointed north but were thought to reveal the will of heaven. Modern metaphysical practitioners still honor magnetite as a stone of power and alignment, used to ground energy and balance polarities within the body. Its physical magnetism becomes a metaphor for attraction, harmony, and transformation. So here's the question for you. If you lived 2,000 years ago and saw a stone pull metal without touch, would you call it natural science or evidence of divine magic? Ranked number 5, magnetite is more than an iron ore. It is the lodestone of power, an ancient reminder of how invisible forces shape medicine, belief, and humanity's earliest steps toward understanding the mysteries of the earth. Rank 4, Chalcedony, the Orator's stone. What if a stone, pale and unassuming, was once believed to give leaders the gift of speech, protect the throat from illness, and shield the mind from nightmares? Would you see only a mineral or the key to power in courts and temples? That is the legacy of Chalcedony, ranked number 4 on our list of ancient stones that were once used for medicine and magic. Geologically, Chalcedony is a cryptocrystalline variety of quartz, composed of microscopic intergrowths of quartz and mogonite. It appears in many colors: white, gray, pale blue, and soft green, but in antiquity, the most prized were translucent whites and blues. Significant deposits used by ancient peoples came from Anatolia, the Mediterranean islands, and the Near East, later spreading through Roman trade networks. Visually, Chalcedony is subtle. Its waxy luster and soft glow made it distinct from more brilliant gems, such as emeralds or rubies. Polished into seals, beads, and cameos, Chalcedony was both durable and smooth, making it ideal for carving inscriptions or portraits. In Rome, signet rings of Chalcedony stamped documents, binding words with the stone's quiet authority. As medicine, Chalcedony was believed to soothe the throat and voice. Ancient physicians prescribed it for hoarseness, sore throats, and speech impediments. In Pliny's writings, Chalcedony was noted as a stone that could ease the tongue, assisting orators and advocates in their work. Some traditions recommend wearing a Chalcedony amulet around the neck to strengthen the lungs and protect against coughs. Its magical associations extended further. In Mesopotamia, Chalcedony was used in protective cylinder seals, inscribed with prayers to guard the bearer. Romans carried it as a charm against nightmares and lunacy, believing it calmed the mind. In medieval lapidaries, it was listed as a talisman for eloquence, persuasion, and courage. Some sources claimed it could even dispel illusions and false visions, allowing truth to prevail in debate. Archaeology provides ample evidence. Chalcedony seals and intaglios appear in excavations from Babylon to Athens to Pompeii. The delicate carvings of deities, rulers, and animals reflect not only artistry but also belief. These were not mere ornaments, but tools of speech, law, and spiritual defense. In modern metaphysical practice, Chalcedony is still considered a stone of communication and calm. Healers associate it with the throat chakra, said to help overcome stage fright, anxiety, and verbal blockages. Its reputation as a stabilizer of emotions echoes the ancient belief that it steadied both the voice and the mind. So let me ask you this. If you stood before a crowd, your reputation balanced on every word, would you trust a pale stone at your throat to carry your voice clearly? Ranked number 4, Chalcedony is more than quartz in disguise. It is the Orator's stone, a quiet gem that once promised clarity, persuasion, and healing to those who carried the weight of words. Rank 3, Jet, the stone of mourning. What if a stone so light it floats on water was believed to carry the weight of death itself, protecting the living from restless spirits and guiding the dead into the afterlife? Would you see it as a simple fossil or as a sacred tool of mourning? This is the story of Jet, ranked number 3 on our list of ancient stones once used as medicine and magic. Geologically, jet is not a crystal at all, but a form of fossilized wood transformed into a compact, carbon-rich mineraloid over millions of years. It is often black or deep brown, smooth when polished, and surprisingly light compared to other gemstones. Ancient sources of jet were most famous in northern England, Whitby, Spain, and Anatolia, where it was carved and traded for thousands of years. Visually, jet is subtle yet powerful. Its dark luster resembles coal, but when polished into beads or pendants, it carries a soft glow that evokes solemnity and reverence. Unlike bright, colorful stones meant for celebration, jet became synonymous with mourning, spirituality, and protection. As medicine, jet was thought to ward off disease and ease nervous disorders. Ancient physicians recommended grinding it into powders to treat toothaches, epilepsy, and even hysteria. In Pliny's Natural History, jet was described as a stone that, when burned, repelled serpents and detected the presence of demons. Some traditions believed inhaling the smoke of burning jet could cure colds and drive out evil vapors from the body. But it was in magic and ritual that jet found its deepest role. In ancient Rome, jet amulets were worn to protect against the evil eye. In medieval Europe, rosary beads made of jet were carried as shields against nightmares and spiritual torment. Archaeologists have discovered jet jewelry in burials across Europe, indicating that it was intended to guide and protect the souls after death. Among the Celts, jet was associated with funerary rites, symbolizing the bridge between the mortal world and the realm of the ancestors. Its reputation as the stone of mourning became firmly established in later centuries. In the Victorian era, Queen Victoria herself popularized jet jewelry as a symbol of grief after Prince Albert's death, reviving its association with loss and remembrance. Yet even long before that, jet's dark sheen had already spoken the language of sorrow and spiritual defense. Today, in metaphysical practice, jet is still considered a protective stone, absorbing negativity, grounding emotions, and serving as a talisman against psychic attack. Its connection to mourning remains, but so does its broader role as a shield for those navigating transitions, whether of life, death, or spirit. So let me ask you, if you held in your hand a stone born from ancient trees and linked to generations of mourning, would you see only darkness or the comfort of protection it has offered the living for millennia? Ranked number 3, jet is more than fossilized wood. It is the stone of mourning, an ancient reminder that grief, protection, and healing are inseparable in the human journey. Rank 2, Fluorite, the scholar's stone. What if a crystal glowing with shifting colors of purple, green, and blue was once carried by students to sharpen memory, by healers to cure fevers, and by priests to banish evil spirits? Would you see it as simple mineral beauty or as a teacher from the earth itself? This is the story of fluorite, ranked number 2 on our list of ancient stones that were once used for both medicinal and magical purposes. Geologically, fluorite is calcium fluoride, CaF2, forming in hydrothermal veins often alongside quartz and calcite. Its cubic crystals and wide color range made it both a scientific curiosity and a spiritual tool. Primary ancient sources were China, Egypt, and parts of Europe, though the rainbow-like specimens most prized today often come from England and Mexico. Visually, fluorite is mesmerizing. Its hues range from deep violet to emerald green, sky blue to golden yellow. Some crystals are banded in multiple colors, creating patterns that look painted by hand. Its transparency and ability to glow under ultraviolet light gave it an otherworldly quality. Ancients saw in it the flicker of divine intelligence. In medicine, fluorite was believed to cool fevers, strengthen bones, and aid in the healing of infections. Chinese lapidaries described it as a stone that calmed the spirit and improved clarity of thought. In European folk medicine, powdered fluorite was sometimes added to tonics for the treatment of arthritis or skin conditions. The link between its multicolored bands and the body's humors made it a candidate for balancing energies long before the language of chakras was used. In magic, fluorite gained a reputation as the scholar's stone. In China, carved fluorite spheres and figurines were placed in temples as protective wards against evil, as well as tools for meditation and study. Scholars carried small fluorite charms, believing they enhanced concentration and protected against mental fatigue. In medieval Europe, fluorite was sometimes referred to as the dream stone, placed under pillows to ensure vivid yet safe dreams, free from demonic interference. Archaeology reveals the presence of fluorite artifacts in both ritual and domestic settings. Excavations in China reveal fluorite carvings used in Taoist practices, while Roman collections included fluorite vases, prized for their vibrant color play. One famous account recounts that Emperor Nero possessed a fluorite cup worth a fortune, believed to confer wisdom upon those who drank from it. Today in metaphysical practice, fluorite is still referred to as the stone of focus and protection. It is said to clear mental fog, stabilize emotions, and shield against negative energies. Its rainbow forms are especially linked to learning and creativity, continuing its legacy as the scholar's companion. So here's a question for you. If a single crystal was believed to sharpen memory and protect the mind for thousands of years, would you place it on your desk or dismiss it as superstition? Rank number 2, fluorite is more than a colorful mineral. It is the scholar's stone, medicine for the body, magic for the spirit, and a reminder that humanity has always sought wisdom in the colors of the earth. Rank 1, Beryl, the vision stone. What if a crystal could sharpen your eyes, reveal hidden futures, and connect you with divine visions? Would you call it a simple ornament or a window to the unseen? This is the story of Beryl, ranked number 1 on our list of ancient stones once used for medicinal and magical purposes. Geologically, Beryl is a beryllium-aluminium silicate that forms in granitic pegmatites. Its family includes aquamarine, emerald, heliodor, and morganite, stones we prize today as gems of high value. In antiquity, however, the transparent pale green to colorless forms of beryl carried an even deeper meaning. They were believed to grant vision. Deposits were mined in Egypt, India, and along the Red Sea coast, later spreading through the Greek and Roman trade networks. Visually, beryl appears in hues of green, yellow, blue, and clear, often transparent enough to gaze through. Ancient lapidaries recommended polishing beryl into flat surfaces or spheres, turning it into literal lenses. Before the invention of glass lenses, polished beryl served as one of humanity's earliest magnifying devices. This natural property gave rise to its reputation as the vision stone. As a medicine, beryl was used to treat eye diseases. Roman physicians recommended that patients look through a beryl crystal to strengthen sight and cure eye strain. In Ayurvedic texts, beryl water was said to cool fevers, cleanse the body, and restore balance. Medieval European healers wore beryl pendants, believing they could draw illness from the body and restore vitality. In magic, beryl's role expanded dramatically. Pliny the Elder wrote that beryl reflected truth and prevented deceit. In the Middle Ages, seers polished beryl into spheres, using them for scrying and divination. These early crystal balls were most often made of beryl, not quartz. Texts describe clerics gazing into beryl stones to summon angelic visions, while village-wise women use them to answer questions about love, weather, and harvest. In some traditions, beryl was placed under the tongue to inspire prophetic dreams. Archaeological discoveries confirm its use. Beryl beads and carvings have been excavated in Egyptian tombs, likely placed as guides for the soul's journey. In Roman Britain, polished beryl crystals have been discovered in ritual contexts, suggesting their potential role in divination. Medieval manuscripts describe bishops carrying beryl amulets as safeguards of purity and spiritual clarity. Modern metaphysical practice continues this legacy. Beryl is said to activate the crown chakra, expand mental clarity, and enhance psychic awareness. Its name even survives in language. The word beryl gave rise to briller in French and eventually brillen in German, words for glasses, a reminder of its role as humankind's first lens. So let me ask you, if you could look through a stone polished by ancient hands and see not only more clearly, but more deeply, would you dare to peer into its vision? Ranked number 1, beryl is more than the parent of emerald and aquamarine. It is the vision stone, medicine for the eyes, a mirror for prophecy, and a crystal that carried humanity's earliest attempts to see beyond the limits of flesh and into the mysteries of time itself. Thank you for joining us on this journey through 10 ancient stones, once used for both medicinal and magical purposes. Each one carried beliefs, remedies, and mysteries that shaped how civilizations understood the world around them. If you enjoyed this exploration, we'd be grateful if you could like this video and subscribe to Gemstone Kingdom. Your support is what keeps us digging deeper, uncovering stories, and bringing hidden knowledge to light. Every click gives us the motivation to create more documentaries like this, and this is just one stop. In our next episode, we'll set out on a new path, a mysterious expedition into the world of secretive gemstone hunts. From hidden mines to forgotten landscapes, we'll follow the traces of gems that were once whispered about but rarely seen. Stay curious, stay with us, and we'll see you in the next adventure. This chapter closes, but the story continues. In our next episode, we'll step into another mysterious journey, one that will take us even deeper into the world of gems. Until then, thank you once again, and we'll see you in the next episode.